Ah, Today I'm going to talk about the one birthday tradition you must start and you will regret not doing it. Now let's be real. For most of us, let's be real. Most of us celebrate our birthdays the same way every year. Cake, maybe a dinner, a few texts from people who only remember because Facebook reminded them. But there's one birthday tradition that you're probably not doing. And trust me, you wish you started sooner. Look, I know you might be thinking, oh great, another thing I should do on my birthday. But stick with me because this one, it's a game changer. It's not about spending money, I know, throwing a party or even making a big deal out of the day. It's about you and your future self. It's journaling. Yep, writing a letter to yourself every year on your birthday. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, that stuff is too girly, and I'm too big for that stuff. Nah, I can't do that stuff. I'm too mature for that stuff. Nah, 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 nah. I'm a big man. I'm a big woman. I can't be doing that kind of stuff. No, is it? We're gonna journal and we're gonna journal to our future self. And we're gonna sit down in our past, which is now, which will become the past in the future. I want to make it a tradition so that in a glimpse of everything, we can look and see how our life has moved on. It depends on how long you've started it. I'll give an example. When you start your birthday journal, you want to do video, not just journal, any form of journaling. Video journal. You're like, why, dude, why should I be doing video journal? Why should da, 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 da. Well, it's simple. When you do video journal, I'm able to see you and see you. I'm able to see things beyond the words you say. I'm able to see how you say it, why you're smiling, how you felt. I'm able to see the fire in your eyes. I'm just saying. But give an example. Now, what should I talk about in my journal? A lot of things. And the first thing you should talk about is the things you're grateful for. Now, I want you to look down and sit there, relax, and just say, talk about the things you're grateful for in the past year, in the past month. What are the things that happened? What are the things you're happy for? What are the things that didn't work out the way it worked out? But you're grateful that, things happened, it worked out at the end of the day. Now, the things you're grateful for. What are some of the goals you had in the past? And how have you seemed to achieve them? What are some of the breakthroughs you had? What are the things the things you're grateful for, the goals you had, the breakthrough or whatever success you have, and the failures, right? The failures you have. Now, by failures, I don't necessarily mean that sometimes certain things can fail without having to mean that you are a failure. You get, for example, let's say you're a scientist. You're doing an experiment. You're trying to test a hypothesis, and you came up with an hypothesis, and you're like, okay, this stuff would produce gold artificially. I'm just saying. And if you came up with such a hypothesis, it would be great. But in a way that the hypothesis did not work. Now, in a way, that experiment is a successful experiment because at the end of the day, you discovered that this hypothesis is not true. You're able to test it and verify it. Now, you're no longer holding to a hypothesis that is not true. You can then move on to something else. You can come up with a different hypothesis. But at some point, it might be considered a failure. But it's not. You want to look at it and say, okay, this stuff, why it's the failure, right? So I talk about the gratitude, I talk about the goals, I talk about the successes and the failure, which are basically the results and the results of whatever goals you had, right? And the next thing I want you to talk about, I want you to talk about your experience and some of the things and the lessons you've learned in the past year. Yeah, most people talk about, I'm so happy. I love the fact that I learned a lot. Experience has taught me a lot. And then I ask, what are some of the things experience has taught you? Well, actually, no, it's not. It's actually well, it's not like that. When you put it that way, it's a bit different. I'm trying to articulate something for you. Can you please just listen to me, dude? If experience has taught you a lot, why is it just so hard to come up with one thing that experience has taught you? And the reason why we can't come up with something that easy for us is because we do not spend time to reflect on the things that experience is teaching us. We don't even know. I'll give an example. If you're going to school and you go to school, you attend class and everything, and I'm like, okay, what did you learn today in school? Well, they taught us maths and they taught us English. Okay. Yeah. So what did they teach you in English? Well, they taught us English, how to speak well. It's just an example. Let's come back to experience. Well, I learned how to live well. Dude, can you be more specific? Well, I learned how to relate with people. Dude, if you don't, if when you ask a child, like, what did you learn in school? I learned how to speak. What exactly did you learn? Okay, well, I learned that they taught us a lesson. Well, that is, I learned something, but I just don't exactly know what you learned. And the way you look at the child, you're like, are you sure you're not skipping classes? Because this is just today. What did you learn today? Not tomorrow, not yesterday, just today. Just tell me one thing you learned. In maths, what did you learn? In whatever courses, what did you learn? And it's probably okay, well, the child could have attended the classes, but probably the child wasn't listening. And because if you attend the class, it doesn't matter um how hard the class might be, you will be able to take something, even the topic of the day. Well, there was a time when I would attend classes and not even know what was taught. It was as if the time just passed. It was as if I was paused and while the time elapsed, and then they played me. And yeah, and I was like, "Oh, so we went to school, we learned stuff," and like, "What did you learn?" I can't remember, right? So the lessons you've learned, you want to look back. Okay, what are the things that happened to you? The bad things, the good things. What are the mistakes you've made? What are the things you've learned? What are some notes to self? Right? Okay, I did this stuff. Uh, I realized that the reason why people are disappointed is because we have an appointment with people. We expect things of people. Okay? Well, but does that mean we shouldn't expect of people at all? No, that's not conclusive. Right? So you want to look at lessons. So you could do 5 lessons, 10 lessons, 15 lessons, 20 lessons, 30 lessons, right? 40 lessons. And what it does, it forces you to reflect on your life and look at what you've experienced, how your attitude has been towards life, what has happened, right? And then at that point in time, I want you to look at what is the biggest fear you have right now, the biggest worry, the biggest thing that has happened that you're scared of currently, and look at that thing and just reflect and ask yourself, talk about it. I want you to describe it in detail. Now, I've talked about gratitude. I've talked about the goals you have. I've talked about the success, the failures, the lessons, experiences teaching you, right? What's the 6th one? The lessons, experience. And I want to talk about your worries, your fears, the things you're scared of, the things you're afraid of. Why are you afraid of them, right? Why are you afraid of them? Now, you could use special journal prompts and all that. If you want me to talk about special journal prompts and you want me to walk through a full session, let me know and I'll gladly make an episode on that. But what are you worried of, right? What are you scared of? Why are you afraid? Now, I want you to, you know what it means to be detailed in it? I want it to be detailed. Let's say you're trying to apply for admission to university. I'm just giving an example. I don't know what the major thing you're trying to do, or trying to get married, or I don't know what you're currently doing, but you're afraid, you're scared of. And I want you to sit down and I want you to describe what you're afraid of. What's the worst possible thing that could happen and what you could do. Now, why would you even do this? The thing is this, if you do this in bed day, you're going to move on to the next bed day and you're going to listen to yourself talking, talking about how scared you are, how you're afraid of getting admission and stuff like that. And you're going to look back at yourself. And probably if you've overcome that phase, you're going to like, wow, I was afraid of this thing. And it's going to put a lot of things into perspective that the reason you were afraid of it was probably because it was new, you've never done it before, or something like that. Right? There's so many other things you could do. And then the other thing is your projections. What are the things you expect? What are the things that 1 year from now you would have done? What kind of person do you want to be? Right? I'm giving examples. And the next thing is, oftentimes, the decisions we make are guided by our underlying values. And so what you want to do is every year have your, what are the things that are valuable to me? What do I stand for? Who am I? What kind of person am I? What is the principle that on which I operate? Because for most of us, we know we have values. Yeah. They're like, no, like, no matter who you think you are, no matter, like, dude, you have something. There's something that makes your blood boil. Yeah, it means you have value. It means there's an edge for you. There are things you just cannot take. And there's nothing bad with that. Yeah. Just, you're like, dude, I can't make, I'll give an example. Like, I can't just stand and watch someone abuse someone. You know, it makes your blood boil. Well, that's something that's a value. You want to be able to know, okay, this is what I stand for, this is what I stand for. Because by reflecting, oftentimes we need to be reminded by reflecting. We begin to understand who we truly are, what we truly stand for, and what we truly, truly want. Because for most of us, we do not know what we want. And so because we do not know what we want, what end up happening is that we look at what most people want. And we say, okay, well, if most people want this, then it means that this is the thing that I should be wanting. And so we chase that thing, we go for that thing because most people want that thing. And that shouldn't be the attitude or the approach we should have towards life. Instead, we should sit there and ask ourselves, who am I? And if you try it the first year, try it the second year, the third year, dude, like you see, just relax. Don't take time. Relax. Talk about the day, what happened. Just tell your story for the year, right? Don't stress about it. Just look at the camera. You're not going to post it or post it online and go viral. No, 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 no. Because right, I know this era, everybody's like, you have to post stuff, you have to, everything. No, no, no. You just take the video and find a way to like preserve it. So what I mean by preserve it is you can upload it to YouTube and put it in private or unlisted, depending on the one, right? Or back it up to the cloud, any form, right? I would say hard drive, but you and I know a lot of things could happen to hard drive, things corrupted and stuff like that. But you just want to, so that in future when you need to refer to it, go back, you're able to see it and watch it, right? Nobody has to see it. But the video is meant for your future self, not even for you, for your future self to go back and reflect on it. That's what I meant for it. But if you want to share it, that's it's your stuff, dude. Who am I? I can't tell you what to do and what not to do, but I'm just saying you don't have to share anything. Because most of the thing is this stuff, most of the stuff you'll be talking about will be really, really personal. Yeah, really personal. And you'll be really, really vulnerable. Not see, I'm not talking about those content creation stuff that they tell you. You have to be vulnerable. You have to talk to camera and stuff like that. No, this stuff will be really personal. It's just like a journal where you write your secrets and stuff like that. Oh, I'm hoping you don't have really terrible secrets that the FBI is going to be looking for you. I'm just hoping, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah. So first of all, it's not expensive. It doesn't cost much, and it's free, basically free to do, and it's going to really help you to become the person you are. And it's a gift, not just to who you now, but a gift to your future self and yourself to come back more and more into the future. And it can also be a gift to your children, right? To see how you evolved over the years. Like, oh, this was that when it was 18, when it was 20, when it was 21, when it was 25, right? They can go back and look at the stuff and all those things, right? Now, imagine you opening last year's letter and see how much you've grown, how much things have changed, right? Because right now we're looking at the past. Because if you're not able to get a glimpse of how it was, right now you might be going through a lot of difficult things. Just sit down and talk about it, and guess what will happen in the future? You're going to see, wow, man, I really struggled then. Man, I was suffering, and it's going to change a lot of things. And I told you about this isn't just about writing dear future me. Hope you're rich and famous. It's about capturing a snapshot of your life. What you're excited about, what scares you, and what you think would happen next. And the best part, every year you get to see just how far you have come. So if you are not doing this yet, start this birthday. Future you will thank you. And if you already been journaling on your birthday, drop a comment. What's one thing you wrote that surprised you later? Don't forget to hit subscribe because next year you're going to want to come back and tell me how it went. Until next time, you've been listening to Wisdom Conquer, and this is the Observe Day podcast.